engagement, and composition workshops. Over the summer, we went to all 4 of those cities and worked with community organizations, our artists, our partners with the NSO and WNO to talk about these questions, to wrestle with them, and to engage those communities. And we're excited to continue doing that this year and the next. Today, we are showcasing each of our commissioned artists so you can learn a little bit more about who they are as artists and change makers across the country. Are you ready to meet them? Yeah? Yeah? Up first, Sassy Black, who was our DJ earlier today, if you didn't notice, really rocking it. A composer for the National Symphony Orchestra in Seattle, Washington. Sassy Black is a multifaceted creative force with a focus in the performing and literary arts. This goddess of psychedelic soul and hologram funk explores sound through deep electronic compositions. A graduate of Cornish College of the Arts, she has been studying music and its effects on the human condition since she was a young girl. Having fostered a thriving solo career, she has been writing, composing, and producing all of her music since 2014, so a little minute. With a decade of touring in the world and releasing music independently under her belt, Sassy expanded her other aspects of the music industry, including teaching, artist partnerships, consulting, and now music director for Microsoft's flagship events. When not composing, researching, or performing, Sassy can be found DJing, writing, or handcrafting masks. Please welcome Sassy to the stage.
Thank you so much, Trey. It's a little sound check in real time. So, yeah, I'm just gonna kick it off. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. What? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. What? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. What? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. What? Black people run the internet. From gossip to news, from winners to losers, we run the internet. Black people run the internet. Instead of the whole world wide web, it's us instead. We're stepping through gracefully, faithfully, dedicated to our identity. No matter the type of parody, no matter the lack of clarity around our ancestral history, I'm moving with deep sincerity, just trying to live and get free. Black people run the internet. From gossip to news, from winners to losers, we run the internet. Yeah, yeah. Black people run the internet. Instead of the whole world wide web, it's us instead. Yeah. From dress to culture, business to trends, math, music, and science, our contributions don't end. Octavia to Ava, from Prince to King, Shaka to Erica, forever connecting. So I'm moving with passion, courage, love, and light. You know the darker the berry, well, the harder the fight. No more tiptoeing to greatness, still reciting all rights. We're still reciting all rights, being sold our death is all right. A brutal victim today, a hashtag martyr tonight. Dissecting visions and dreams as hallucinations and schemes. It's rebranded, you don't understand. It's simple oppressive bandit, you don't have the bandwidth. Yeah, I said it, and I meant it. Yeah, I said it, and I meant it. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. What? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. What? I pray for peace. I pray for hope, so I can embrace me just as I am. I pray for love. I pray for understanding so you can embrace me just as I am. There's something magical about my melanin. Magic. I got the magic. Black girl magic. A black magic woman. It's all fantastic. There's something magical about my melanin magic. I got the magic. Various shapes and hues, a range of existence, it's so profound. Spreading my arms, my limbs, music is where freedom can be found. There's something magical about my melanin magic. I got the magic, yeah. There's something magical about my melanin magic. I got the magic, survival magic. Yeah, ooh, ooh, ooh. I had to do what I had to do, what I had to do, what I had to do. I had to do it. I had to do what I had to do, what I had to do, what I had to do. I had to do it. Thank you.
Let's make some noise for Sassy. So we're going to be asking each of our artists a question after they give their presentation. So, Sassy, in some ways, it already feels like you live in the future, right? So what does it mean to you to be composing for the National Symphony Orchestra about Black futures in Seattle?
It means a lot to me. You know, I produced all that music, I DJ, I've been doing all of this for a really long time, and next year I'm celebrating 10 years of Sassy Black, 10 years of me being solo since the first time I put out my music as a solo artist. And being a part of the Cartography Project and representing Seattle is so important because so many people don't recognize the Blackness that is in Seattle. Jacob Lawrence lived there, you know, August Wilson, Octavia Butler. I'm like, what? And those aren't even my natural genres, you know what I'm saying? Let's not talk about Jimi Hendrix or how Quincy Jones met Ray Charles in Seattle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Speak
wow,
on it.
right?
Speak
Someone
on
said,
it.
wow. Yeah, okay. So, you know, I'm a part of a lineage of Blackness in Seattle, and I'm very excited to share that, you know, that grunge, that jazz, you know, grunge was discovered by a Black woman, was originated by a Black woman. So if you didn't know, just Google that and you'll find it. You know, just want to speak to that because I've had so many people ask, are there any Black people there? And I'm like, I just told you I live there. So that doesn't make any sense. So, you know, I want to, being chosen to be a part of this project and represent Seattle is really important to me because it also lets you know that being an electronic musician, being a classically trained and a jazz trained electronic musician doesn't separate you from being a composer. It doesn't distance you from the opportunity to work with an amazing institution like the Kennedy Center and to compose orchestrations and to work with string quartets. The sky's the limit, basically, and I get to represent that for Seattle and make sure that the future generations of Black folks that are from Seattle, have lineage in Seattle, wind up in Seattle, know that the sky's the limit.
That's awesome. Thank you, Sassy. I forgot to ask this, but if folks want to learn a little bit more about you, where can they find more out about Sassy Black?
SassyBlack.com. That's where my musical
Period.
is, my albums, the music, yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Sassy.
Thank you.
All right. Up next, we've got Jaylen Vincent, composer for the Washington National Opera in Houston, Texas. Jaylen was born and raised in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Is a composer and violinist whose music reflects his passion for Black and African musical idioms, as well as his commitment to expressing a deep and joyful connection to his heritage. Vincent's work are influenced by the sounds and rhythms of gospel, hip-hop, and other musical expressions from the African diaspora. He draws inspiration from the traditional and contemporary sources to create pieces that are both modern and timeless. His music is a sonic expression of his unadulterated joy, love that, and a reflection of his deep emotional connection to his cultural roots. Currently, he's pursuing a BM in composition from the Shepherd School of Music at Rice University. Please enjoy Jaylen.
I was always a part of music, not in like the classical sense. I was part of music, in my church, like my mom sang in the choir, my brother was our drummer. None of them were classically trained. Our exposure to music was like in a sacred space. So when I started in 6th grade, I picked up the trumpet, and I was just kind of doing violin and trumpet at the same time. I was also just very interested and very curious about other instruments. So I was like, my friend played viola, so I asked her to teach me how to play viola. I asked my orchestra director to teach me how to play cello. And so I was just very interested about like all of the instruments. And I think it was that curiosity that's what is fundamental in being a composer. I knew I wanted to attend the Shepherd School at Rice University at a very early age. Just seeing everything that was here, a great music school inside of a great university. I'm just always curious, and why I wanted to be in a place like the Shepherd School in Rice University is the fact that I'm surrounded by people that are also curious. This is probably one of the only places where I can go down the hall and talk to someone that's interested in astrophysics, and then also talk to someone that is trying to do stem cell research, and someone that's interested in, classics and philosophy, and in just having like these very diverse conversations.
At the beginning of the year, we were just getting to know each other, and the second conversation we had, I was like, Jaylen, like if you need any cellist, like, I'd be happy to play your pieces. And then I was like, we have 4 freshman cellists, the cello besties. So I was like, you should totally compose a cello quartet, because everybody loves a good cello quartet. And he didn't say anything when I said that. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, he was like, Claire, I'm writing a cello quartet. I was like, no way. And then he wrote it really fast in like the month of October. It's called Shimmer with an exclamation point, and so it's very exciting. It's very movie soundtrack. It evokes like a lot of images, I think.
Working with these cellists made the process for me easier, writing for a medium where it's the exact same instrument. It's like, how can I write for Claire in a way that, best reflects her playing? How can I write for Evan and Sebastian? And so having names and, specific player abilities and how their personality is and how they play made the process of writing Shimmer even more enjoyable, knowing the performers, knowing their personalities, knowing what they enjoy doing, just made it even more fun and more personable. They were truly the real inspiration. Their enthusiasm and just their joy in wanting to create something with me, and something, just, I don't know, it's very emblematic of our friendship and our camaraderie.
And the piece is really great. I didn't expect a freshman composer to be this talented, but he is. It just became this big thing, and it's been a fun ride to be a part of.
There was a couple weeks ago, we had a coaching with my teacher on the piece, and it was sort of like all my favorite people were like in one room together playing music. So I feel like our relationship is like really great, but playing the piece, it's so cool to play good music with like your good friends.
right, I'm going to invite Jaylen up to the stage.
Howdy.
Jaylen, how do you feel your composition style has changed since you started at Rice? And how has this project challenged you or your style at all?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So I feel like when I came into university, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying things out and kind of, seeing what worked. But I think the thing that I felt, especially going into a conservatory, right, which has like structures, like it's inside of an institution that also has expectations on what people do, and then when you have someone that looks like me that comes into an institution, right, how does that cause some tension? And I feel like the tension that I felt is that I had to like code switch, right, in my music, and so like there's expectations on what people wanted me to sound like, and then there's the tension in what I wanted to sound like, and sometimes those things always weren't congruent. But I think what being a part of this project has really allowed me to do is kind of release myself from having to code switch in my sound and really to synthesize everything that I've heard and everything that I think aligns with what I am aesthetically, and just present that and let that be it. So I think, yeah, thank you.
Yes.
And so when I think about imagining Black futures, I'm thinking a not so distant future for myself and how I can create a space where I can exist in my sonic truth, and also representing kind of the Black futures in Houston as well. But in a local sense, kind of imagining a Black future for myself.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jaylen. I'm asking the same question I asked Sassy. If folks want to follow you, learn a little bit more about your work, where can they do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. You can follow my YouTube channel, Jaylen Vincent Music, Jaylen Vincent Music on YouTube, but also follow my website, jaylenvincentmusic.com. That's where I'll post a lot of my music and dates and performances. So yeah, thank you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Jaylen. All right, up next, we have Deborah Deep Monton, librettist for the Washington National Opera in Houston, Texas. Deborah Deep Monton is an internationally known writer, educator, activist, performer, and the first Black poet laureate for the city of Houston, Texas. Formerly ranked the #2 best female performance poet in the world, her recent poetry collection, Newsworthy, garnered her Pushcart nomination, was nominated a finalist for the 2019 Writers League of Texas Book Award, and received honorable mention for the Summer Lee Book Prize. Honored by Houston Business Journal as a part of their 2021 40 Under 40 class, her work has been highlighted and studied in Canada, England, New Zealand, and Germany, all countries I want to visit. Currently, she is a resident artist at the American Lyric Theater in Rice University. She lives and creates in Houston, Texas. Deep was not able to join us today, but did send a video so we can see a little bit of her work. Please enjoy.
One, the state insect of North Carolina is the European honeybee. 2, beehive survival is based solely off the livelihood of the queen, the only fertile female who continues to create more worker bees to keep the hive thriving. 3, from 1929 to 1974, the state of North Carolina used eugenics as a philosophical reasoning in which to sterilize young, poverty-stricken women without their knowledge, thousands of which are still alive today. It was the spring of '67, I remember. I had just gotten my young wings around the idea of being a new mother. 8-month-old nectar hanging around your abdomen changes the way you fly. And I was a quick one. Thighs made of honey and proboscis just as sweet. Could talk a man out of his car, his clothes, his money if need be. Could talk myself into a fight just the same. See, bees round my garden were a bit more aggressive than most, but we made it. Yeah, me and my baby. I recall the pain, the agony, him swatting at me as he started to crown. This king within me destined for a throne, coming into life faster than honey could hold. They got me to the hospital and put me in this room, and that's all I remember. Awakening to jaundiced bandages across a blackened body. Not a scream or buzz, just a counting backwards in a dizzying unconsciousness. I bet you they blew smoke in my room just to calm me down.
Keep me sedated to the 5 keepers behind the one-way glass and the manila folder that told them that my species was too primitive to evolve. The change was not a learned behavior, but something I would never get. So they tied and burned these tube-like antennas so I could never speak the name of another, a black and yellow hush. When an insect screams, it sounds like a pin drop against the mahogany of a conference table. I bet you they didn't even know my name, didn't know no Elaine Riddick, mistook me for a drone, a follower, and never gonna stay in the hive kind of straggler. Figured one day I'd cause a swarm of ignorance, the shade of poverty that no whitewashed honeycomb could contain. They didn't know that they didn't know a man would see past these 60 appendages and hairy legs, want to marry me, that he'd make our beds on the petals of a dandelion, cloak us in the morning dew, and awaken to an empty belly by the time our wings dried. How was I supposed to tell him that I never knew that I was an imposter, that all my life I've been told that I was something more special than I was? They took something from me, something that was God-given and innate and natural, something no amount of compensation can replace. Tell me, how do you give someone back their inheritance when their dreams lay sticky and spilled on the floor of an operating room? Tell me, oh state who boasts my beauty, how do you explain to your children why the trees carry no blossoms, why the grass carries no blade, why the cabinets are barren of honey when my bees could have filled 1,000,000 jars by now? And tell me, how do you explain the clipping of 7,600 of our wings while your pollen-dusted hands hold on to apologies like an offering of flowers would make us more civiled or settled or right standing, you naivest of the Carolinas? Don't you know women secrete beeswax loud enough to clog up history and buzz louder than the writing of a check, especially when we're denounced from our throne without even knowing it? Please give it up for Deep.
Give it up for Deep, yes. So Deep is currently selling her poetry, which is why she's not here with us, but I asked her to send us just a little blurb about what that poem meant to her. She said, "I wrote this poem after finding out about the story behind Elaine Riddick. Unfortunately, she is only a small number in a sea of women who have had choices made for their bodies without their consent. Much of my work centers on amplifying Black women's stories like this one." Thank you, Deep, for sharing that with us. Up next, we have Charles Lumar II, composer for the National Symphony Orchestra in New Orleans, Louisiana. Charles Lumar II is a New Orleans-based musician, composer, teacher, and explorer. He expresses himself in whatever medium seems up to the task, but can primarily be found playing a double bass, an electric bass, or a tuba. Charles has performed and recorded with People Museum, Solange, and Kristen Diable, and has toured the world playing shows at notable venues including the Kennedy Center, Radio City Music Hall, and the Guggenheim, the Getty Museum, the Gothenburg Festival, and the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. When not creating or performing music, Charles enjoys making visual art and matching his music to compelling images and videos. Charles is inspired by the stars, birds singing, and love. Please enjoy Charles' music. Let's give it up for Charles. I forgot to bring your mic. We're gonna share. All right, Charles, you've been in the music industry for a few years now, but only recently started to identify as a composer. What does it mean to have that as a part of your identity now?
Since being here at the Kennedy Center these last couple of months, I think for me, composition really revolves around simply just listening for possibility, right? So as I sit up here with my peers, you know, just listening to what they're presenting, inspiration, right? Being on the Millennium Stage, inspiration. There's like 27 concerts tonight, inspiration. So if I just quiet down and listen, automatically I'm just ripe for composition. Yeah.
That's awesome. Where can people hear a little more of your work?
I have an Instagram. It is called Strings Fall Apart.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Charles. All right, we have arrived at Motown. Britney Ward is librettist for the Washington National Opera in Detroit, Michigan. Detroit native, Britney Ward is an Emmy Award-winning interdisciplinary artist, organizer, who uses spoken word for change. She has performed for many cultural events, community organizations, virtual conferences, and award-winning plays. She is awarded an Emmy for her slam poetry and received the 2015 Kwanzaa San Antonio Unity Award. Britney is a poet laureate for the Irwin House Global Art Center and Gallery and a member of the Guild spoken word organization. She curates many open mic spaces, showcases, and is known for her efforts to uplift and preserve the Detroit poetry community. Please welcome Britney.
Ooh, peace, everybody. Man, oh man. I can't get up here and not mention my voice. It's going in and out, but I've got to get these words out. And so here I am. Are we here? How are y'all feeling? Okay, because I'm going to need y'all energy. See, my voice is coming back already. So yes, peace, everybody. My name is Britney Ward. I am daughter of Ursule and Lumar Ward. I am an interdisciplinary creator, thought leader, cultural organizer, storyteller, and certified intuitive Reiki healer. For the 2023 Kennedy Center Cartography Project, I am one of the chosen librettists, and everything that I do is rooted in healing and transformation. I believe that carving out space for people to just be, to breathe, and align with their mind, body, and soul is so necessary. Who here breathed today? Did y'all breathe today? Are you breathing now? This is me carving out space. Because when do we have time for that? Like literally, we are so go, go, go. Sometimes it's necessary for us to go, 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 mothers, fathers, aunties, uncles. But we should carve out space for ourselves. So here we are. Especially in a system that is constantly laying down laws and red tape, trying to strip away our autonomy and our agency over our own minds and bodies. I believe that this space of breathing and aligning should not be just a side job or something when we have free time. It should be a part of our whole spiritual hygiene. We take showers. We should also integrate that into our own hygiene as humans, because it's so necessary. So the poem that I have for you today explores some of the energy points in the body that stores thoughts, feelings, emotions. These energy points are often called chakras. Who here have heard of chakras? Y'all believe in chakras for real? That's what's up. Or also energy points. Chakra Sanskrit meaning will, always turning, hopefully it's always turning, a disc, energy points in our body that correlate to different nerve endings within our whole nervous system. So sometimes when we feel out of whack, it's because We may need to sit and think, be still. We may need to have some action, some movement. So this poem correlates to those different chakras. You may hear me say, I know, I see, I speak, I love, I do, and I am. Please bear with me, my voice, goodness gracious. So this poem is called I Love It Here. I know that spirit moves me with the hum, drum, or something someone said. I can feel the soft tingle slither up my spine, raising the hair on my arms, legs, hips, and thighs. I dance in trance. Tears come, eyes gloss over. I can hear the tears of the veils that separate the physical and the spiritual. I see. You feel it too. I know you want to. I think about this all the time. What if we all lived here, breathed here, in the seances of spirit, speaking life to ourselves and projecting it onto one another, speaking up for ourselves and protecting our sisters and brothers? What if we all lived here, using our tongues to tell more than just trauma, salivating to taste each other's gardens of new growth? What if I loved with its purest form, without restriction and condition, confusion, a love that is declared with intention? I do love it here, in control, happy, that when I'm sad, angry, or mad, I matter. We matter. This earth knows its only matter. And so the mother holds me holy through these seasons, helping me to alchemize for the betterment of the gardens to come, to create a world full of compassion that we effortlessly gave ourselves. We would all be part architect and abolitionist, existing in a space where flow means freedom to dance with chaos and position ourselves with inner peace. I am grateful to be sister, auntie, daughter, child, woman, Lord, cousin. I am grateful to be right, to be wrong, to be a friend, to be an enemy, to be a mentor, to be inspiration, because to me that says I'm human. Everything, all at once, universal, omnipotent, powerful, feeling how hate can consume the body, but how love can nourish the soul. All knowing of myself and who I choose to be. I am accountable to my past, cleaning its bones of any dead flesh before I make space for what's alive and constantly growing. I am safe here in this body, in this world I create. these words will flow regardless of how they sound. I feel the Spirit move inside of me. Ashe, and it is so. Thank you.
Give it up for Britney. All right, I love this question for you. So I know that you view yourself as an artist, activist, organizer, and healer. What do you hope that audiences here today and around the world take from your words?
Yeah. So, wow, it's getting worse. What a time. Thank you. So, I could just speak on today. You know, my voice is going away. I'm performing here for the first time. What the heck?
But you slayed.
Okay, I share.
Okay. All right. I
But literally, as I was listening to your performance, the one before me, I just got inspired that like these words are still going to come out. I'm still going to say these words. And I'm getting emotional because this is real, obviously. You know, it's like I curate spaces for release because at the end of the day, what I create is personal, but it becomes communal and collective and about community when people feel it. So I want people to feel my words. I want people to feel inspired, to tap into their own creativity inherently and speak, to move, because sometimes you don't have all the words, or sometimes all the words aren't heard, but it's felt. Sometimes your silence is felt, but make sure you show up for yourself. And that's all I want to say. Ashe.
You said it all. Thank you, Britney. All right, we've reached our last artist for the evening. Levi Taylor, composer for the Washington National Opera in Detroit, Michigan. Levi is a twice Michigan Emmy-nominated composer for boutique composer agency Fortress Talent Management in Los Angeles, where he scores for film, documentaries, television, and media. Notable credits include works for the University of Michigan's bicentennial graduation ceremony, the award-winning documentary, Me, The Other, Discovery Channel's Shark Week, Peacock's Vampire Academy, and most recently the short film Sundown Town with director Raphael Augustin. When not composing, Levi teaches private piano lessons, volunteered as a board officer for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Washington County. Did I almost get that right? Almost. For 4 years. Sits on multiple committees for various local nonprofits and continues to find ways to help youth find access to quality music education with organizations such as Ann Arbor's Peace Neighborhood Center. Please welcome Levi. Thank you so much, Levi. All right, Levi. You've written music for so many different projects. Shark Week is a personal favorite, each with different goals. How is the Cartography Project different for you at all?
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody, also for being here and for listening. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Britney, for playing with me. Before I answer that, really quickly, I just want to share that, everybody's here giving me inspiration. It's really hard for me to perform. It's wonderful getting to do it. This piece was called Together We, But Only Together. And the idea behind the piece is how important it is through all the problems and hardships that we might face personally, globally, community. Everything's always better when we're together, right? So thank you so much for being here. Can you repeat the question again for me one more time? Thank you.
I'm going to my notes. Hold on, I don't flip the page.
How is this different from the other projects I've worked on?
How is the Cartography Project different for you than other projects that you've worked on?
So I've worked on lots and lots of projects, a lot of television, a lot of film, and each project has its own universe, right, and own community, directors, music supervisors, music editors, and such, and so we're all our own little family. But it feels it kind of feels. I use the word little, although it's not little. It's a big project, but it feels very intimate, right? All those projects do. This feels huge. The community that we're embracing together, the community that's here with us today, the communities we go to at our, I'm part of the Detroit group, so the community in Detroit that we're engaging with this project as well, it feels a lot bigger than what I'm creating with Britney. I think that's it. That's where this feels very different.
Cool. Thank you, Levi.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to invite the rest of our artists up to the stage. And I just want, yes, can we give them another round of applause, please? I just want to thank you, audience, for traveling to the future with us tonight. The future of Black opera, the future of Black symphony. The future is now. The future is right in front of you on this stage. One of my favorite authors, Adrienne Marie Brown, they say that practice is how we become what we long to be, right? And so if we want a more inclusive opera, if we want more inclusive symphony, if we want to create more spaces of belonging in our art centers like the Kennedy Center, we have to practice that. And cartography is one of the ways that we as Social Impact, we as the National Symphony Orchestra, we as the Washington National Opera are practicing the future that we want to see. And so I thank you all for practicing with us, for saying yes, for showing up, and for just being dope artists, right? Like, they are so fly. And we're so grateful to have you here at the Kennedy Center for 3 years. And I know after those 3 years, we are not going to let you go, but you're going to go across the world and across the country and continue to make great work and great art. So thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you to the National Symphony Orchestra and to the Washington National Opera for partnering with us on this project. Go forth and prosper, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Sassy, you want to play us out a little something? You want to play us out a little number, a little ditty? I did.